Tête-à-tête, a destination for watch lovers where we go beyond the timepieces and discuss the personalities in the brand. Wow. Today we have, well, first of all, I'm Sarah, and today we have Charris. I won't say Harris's last name. I was instructed not to.
Don't try.
Don't, yes. But we'll just call him Harris YG.
That's okay. Good for me. And the last name, if you do need it, is Yadigaroglou.
Yadigaroglou.
Well done.
So when you were young, where did you grow up?
I grew up in the US. I was born in Boston and I grew up in Berkeley, California until I was age 12 or 13 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a US baby. Now, what was your last name in the US? Did you change it?
I did not, but it was a major nightmare. I can tell you in kindergarten or whatever, getting Yadigaroglou across was a bit of a challenge.
So is it just like Harris Yadi?
A lot of people have called me that, yes.
Right.
Including, army years or whatever, yes.
You
Yadi.
were in the army.
Like any Swiss citizen, absolutely. I did my obligatory army time, yeah.
Okay, so what were you specialized in?
I was artillery, believe it or not. I shot cannon.
Cannon?
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know that. So can you still work a cannon?
I would probably need a refresh because I have been released from the army. I'm too old for that now, but up until age, I think it was 37 or 38, yes, I was an active Swiss soldier, yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
So,
artilleryman. Yeah.
Do they still use cannons?
The cannon I used were what's it called? Were taken out of the army at one point because they were too antiquated.
Really?
But up until the late 90s or something.
And go the opposite way.
Well, there's better equipment. These are cannon that survived the Second World War.
Oh my.
So yeah.
Interesting. So do you collect cannon
I do not. No.
objects?
No.
But like small tiny cannons?
No, I have not kept any passion from those years, even though they're good memories, but no.
So how do they select, like when they're assessing you, they're like, oh, Harris would be great at cannons?
I wish it was so sophisticated, but it's probably not. Basically, you go to your first day where they recruit you, and depending on their needs, I suppose, they decide you go to infantry, you go to artillery. I ended up in artillery, which was good, which was cool.
Okay.
It's actually mountain artillery, believe it or not. So we would drag these very heavy cannon up the Swiss mountains.
Oh my word.
Yes, it was.
That is intense. Did you have like I'm not sure what happens in the Swiss Army, but did you have like a war cheer?
We did, and I know what you're going to ask. You're going to ask me to do it. I don't remember it, so I'm not going to do it. But yes, every unit had its war cry, basically. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
Yes.
And did you get any, like when you left the army, did you have any memorabilia? Did you share a tattoo with your fraternity?
I did not, but you get to keep certain things. You get to keep, if you want, certain parts of your uniform. You can buy back. I did not do it. Your gun, your rifle. You can keep some stuff. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in Berkeley.
Right.
And then you ended up you came back to Switzerland?
A few steps in between. I spent some time in France with my family. I followed my family around. Obviously, I was still a young man at the time. We spent a few years in Greece, where my father's from, and then ended up in Zurich first, so the German part, and finally for studies. For university, I came to Geneva.
Okay, and then, so what did your parents do that you were moving everywhere?
My father was a university professor, and he liked physics. Yes.
Yeah, that is very, very.
He was much more intelligent than I am, honestly. Intellectually, academically, much more advanced. I always admired my father for that. And yeah, he liked to travel around, to take sabbatical years, as they say in the academic arena. So he would spend a few years in a university in France, then go to Greece and so on.
Nice. So now that you have a very intelligent father, did you always feel stupid?
I did, kind of, to be honest.
I would imagine I would never talk.
Oh yes, I mean I believe and I hope I have other qualities, but honestly the pure intellectual academic nature of things, I always felt stupid compared to my father and my brother, by the way, who also followed in the beginning a very similar path, astrophysics. In some of the best schools. I was much more down to earth. I went into marketing.
Oh yeah, I want to be an actor.
Why not? I would have loved to be an actor.
I would imagine like you would rebel and do something completely the opposite. I'll be a thespian and a Buddhist.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So you're only two boys?
Yes, my brother and I, yeah.
Okay, fine. Well, that was interesting. And then you ended up in Geneva here.
Right.
And how did you make your way into the watch industry? And actually, you went into marketing first.
Yes. I specialized in marketing during my business studies. My first job was in fact in an advertising firm, so that was really the thing I wanted to do, the pure marketing communication stuff. But believe it or not, and this sounds like a recreated story or whatever, but I promise you it's reality, it's the truth.
But you studied marketing, so
I studied marketing, but I promise this is a true story. My first monthly salary I earned in the agency was spent on a watch.
What did you get?
It's a funny story. I went into the store to buy an Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah.
And the sales lady, who was very convincing and very good, for some reason made me move to a GP, Yadigaroglou chronograph. Right, so interesting move. It's a watch I still have. It's not an amazing watch, to be honest. I think from a pure investment point of view, I should have bought the Speedmaster.
It
but it doesn't
matter for
matter.
you. Yeah.
No, I bought the GP.
Okay, so you had, I guess, a bit of a curiosity or
A love of watches already, honestly, yes. Because part of my family, as I said, was Swiss. My mother was Swiss. And my grandparents typically, when we were living in the US, would come over and visit every few years. And one of those visits, they brought me my first watch, first mechanical watch, yes.
And what was that?
Rotary is the brand. I still remember it. It's a tiny, and I found it many years later again. It's a tiny diving watch for kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
the
so
bezel's
sweet.
gone. I lost the bezel for some reason, but I still have it.
That is so sweet. Okay, so you have a little your heart flutters when you think of watches.
I do.
And then you went into marketing. And then you ended up, I saw you worked in agency side, then you ended up in luxury, you worked
Yes.
for Piaget.
Absolutely.
Right.
During my time at the agency where I was doing fast-moving consumer goods, so nothing to do with watches, at one point I saw an ad for a luxury brand that happened to be Piaget, and for some crazy reason they asked me to join.
Okay.
They were looking for people with experience from other sectors at the time, and that's probably how I got it.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you had that entire journey, but it all goes back to your Swiss heritage.
I guess so. Yeah, there's some DNA there. Yeah.
So I've done a little digging on your Instagram page because there's very little about you
Oh
online.
no.
And on your Instagram page, by the way, you should put more information about you online. On your Instagram page, I see that you were recently in Bangkok.
That's right. Yeah,
And
late
at
last year.
night, instead of going to bed at a reasonable hour, you learned to surf.
Oh no. Yes, I tried. I've surfed before, but I never surfed on a what they call stationary wave.
Yeah.
Which they surprisingly have in Bangkok, and I didn't know this before going on this visit. I had basically had a Sunday night there before starting work on the following Monday morning. Didn't really know what to do as I was on my own, and by chance on a map I saw this place called something, I forget the name now, and it looked like a surfing spade. So I asked the hotel concierge what it was about, and I went, and yeah, it's a very cool stationary urban wave, as we say.
Okay, very cool.
So I surfed in Bangkok. It's
Interesting.
Yeah.
So based on your page, you're the only visual merchandising person at this point.
yes,
You like to travel.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also like to. You actually are a very active individual.
I do my best. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do at work, but I try to do a reasonable amount of things outside as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you like to ski.
I do. Yes.
You like to surf.
Frozen or liquid water, basically, is what I say. Yes.
Okay, fine. I don't think there's any other type. I actually missed. Okay, fine. So skiing and surfing. Is there anything else you do other than
Wakeboarding, anything that has to do with water, or windsurfing,
Okay.
wake surfing, anything that has to do with water, diving.
So are they meditative for you when you're active?
I guess so. I don't meditate. I wish I did. I wish I was. Yeah. The yoga is apparently a great thing. I don't, but I guess it helps.
So how do you distract yourself, or how do you recharge? Would you describe yourself as an extrovert, introvert?
Not sure, but I recharge for sure thanks to everything we just mentioned. For me, spending some time up in the mountains or on the water, absolutely, that's what gets me my batteries back to full.
And what watch do you wear when you're in nature?
Well, previously not MB&F because we didn't have watches that were really allowed to do that. Now with the Evo line, so our new line of very sort of active lifestyle compatible watches, you can actually wear an Evo, which is incredible because I can tell you, I have to admit, the first time I swam in the ocean with an MB&F was a weird feeling. Oh, it's like, can I really do this? And we've always been making watches that are 3 atmospheres, 30 meters water resistant, but they're not really designed for swimming, right? The Evos, definitely you can go swimming.
Were you involved in the creation of the Evo for your own interest?
Absolutely.
Listen, I need something to wear. I basically can't wear an MB&F.
Well, to be totally honest, that's really with the input of Max, who lives in Dubai, as you know, and In Dubai, yes, a lot of water, swimming pools, the ocean, the sea. So Max really requested that we make a watch compatible with that lifestyle.
Okay.
Too often he was caught in a swimming pool with, someone new he had just met and so on. What do you do? I make watches. Oh, is that one of your watches? No, it's not, because I'm in a pool, so I'm wearing whatever, another brand. And that was a bit disturbing as the owner of the brand, So one of the reasons for the Evo line was really Max's lifestyle in Dubai.
Okay, well, you know what? I really do enjoy the Evo line. I do think it's. I even love the strap color you first launched it in. Yeah. But it actually what I love the most is the flying tee.
The flying tee.
The flying tee. The first time I saw that.
Breaks everyone's heart. Yeah.
I think it was 2020. No, before it was.
19, I believe. I may be wrong. Yeah.
I think it was 2019, and then I saw the watch. Now in pictures, I was like, skepticismo. But then I saw it in person, stunning.
And it's a wonderful story too. I mean, it's a true story. It's
Max. You're in marketing, so.
Well, yeah, but honestly,
I find it interesting that we keep on saying it's a true story. Have you been?
You know why? You know why? And it's a good question. One of the reasons I really wanted to join Max and this company was that the first part of my professional life, was spinning and inventing stories. And very often when you have a very boring product, it does require some work to find the interesting story. Yes. With Max, given that all of these projects, they start with something very real from his life, from his experience, it's actually that part of the job is pretty easy. I don't need to invent stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you don't invent stuff, you don't need to remember stuff.
That's true.
When you invent stories, invent lines, you need to remember what the version is. Here we don't. It's the truth. And the truth of the flying tee is that Max, after several years, wanted to create something for the women in his life,
exactly,
for his mother, for his wife, for his daughter. So it's a very natural, organic story and a true story.
Well, it was a stunning watch, very very well done. And I never honestly before, if someone were to have to ask me like, oh, how would you conceptualize a female MB&F watch? I genuinely been like, I don't know.
And by the way, Max didn't know either. He went around in crazy circles for many months, overthinking this whole project.
Yeah.
If you see some of the first scribbles he did, they're wacky designs and very unusual watches. And this was a major point of pressure for him, the stress. He wanted to do something special. And then in the end, he boiled it down to something much more, much pure.
Yeah.
It's a round watch. It's a relatively simple watch. Of course, some of the mechanics inside are not so simple, the big dome. But it's actually a very simple and, in my view, elegant design. It took a while. It did not happen overnight.
So will you have a tree version of that watch?
I wish, yes. Not for the moment. I have to admit that's not in the pipeline.
Well, I would suggest you reconsider your priorities.
I'll talk to Max about that.
Thank you very much. Well, Harris, it was lovely speaking to you. We do love you at Dubai Watch Week.
I look forward to that this year again.
Is it marked in your calendar?
Oh, it's absolutely marked in our calendars. And by the way, we should have something very interesting at that moment. So stay tuned.
Well, that's very exciting. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.